right, so I'm with Troy Vigil. Troy, what's up, man?
How you doing? Thanks for having me on, man.
Brother, I'm good, man. Dude, it's always so good to see you. I always enjoy running into you. I always joke. There's like a handful of like people in my life, a handful of dudes in my life that I probably see them in the locker room at Lifetime more than I see them like out in real life. You're one of them, man. But it's good to hang with you.
I feel like I see you a lot because you're doing so much with social media and content. So even though I don't see you in person, I feel like I see you every day because I'm scrolling or I see stuff on Facebook.
Yeah.
But I do love seeing you at the gym too.
Yeah. Dude, I love that, man. It's like actually like really encouraging. It means it's working, like that's the whole goal and the intention behind it and stuff.
I know I can't be the only one that sees you every day, all day with the content. So
yeah,
I can tell you're grinding. I love it.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
And I'm honored that you had me on here today.
Yeah, dude, no doubt. Gosh, I think it's been like a couple years in the making. I was like, dude, we gotta get together. Like, I want to sit down and like just talk with you, like record some stuff and everything. So glad it's finally worked out, man, where we could have a conversation. So
me too. Yeah, I think it started. We were talking smack back and forth about Nebraska and CU.
Yeah.
And then it just evolved from there.
Yeah.
I started doing your taxes. And
yeah.
One thing led to another.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, it's just funny how things kind of come together, man, and I love that about just organic relationships. It's when things aren't forced, when they're not this like, you probably run into this, man. And I'm sure you probably did at the front end of your career and stuff where you run into people and it's like, dude, like I would like to get to know this person. Like I want to like hang with this person, or I think that I've got something that could help them out. But if it's like this like forced kind of like, you're just like annoying people, you're bugging them, it just doesn't have the same feel to the relationship,
Yeah, I mean, you're right. And I kind of got lucky because when I started, I'm a CPA for the people on here that don't know. When I started, I was getting a lot of referrals and I never did any marketing or advertising.
No.
But I would run into people and I would see them with other people that I knew, and then they would introduce us, and it was none of these were business introductions or even the potential for business initially. But the more you get to know somebody and the more you trust them and the more you're around them, business comes up, and what do you do, and can you help me with this? So those things, you use the word organically, one thing leads to another, and half of my client base now are people that I golf with or go to church with or see at the gym or travel with.
Yeah.
And it's just because those are the people that I'm around all the time. Like I hate getting on the highway, but I spend like 95% of my time in that little circle of Broomfield, Westminster,
sure,
Thornton, North Glen, like the restaurants, our church, the golf courses, the gym, the stores. Everything we do is in that little, like I could be all those places within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So you run into the same people, you see them with people that you know, and it almost inevitably leads to business. Or I'm a real estate investor, so it's led to introductions on properties that we've purchased, or lenders that we've used, or insurance people that we've used. So that's how you get those introductions, just by being out and about in your community.
Dude, I love that. I've always wanted to be, like you hear like the analogy of like a square peg in a round hole, right? Like if you try to, and not you, but just like people that are trying to grow their business, just operate and run a successful business, if you try to be somebody that you're not, like it just doesn't work. Like there's something that just can't happen if you're trying to portray yourself as somebody that you're not.
100%. And not only does it not work, it just you could probably force it to work, just like you could force a square peg into.
It's not going to last, though.
But it doesn't last. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't. Like everybody knows you're not being genuine.
Yeah.
I know you're into sports. I just finished watching the Allen Iverson documentary. You should watch
sick.
it if you haven't. And
I've
he
not
was
seen
like
it.
the first guy that, he was kind of he was himself for good or bad reasons.
Yeah.
But he never conformed. He did his own thing, kept his own style, and I mean that's a perfect example of he was successful and he did his own thing. And I'm in a different line of business, but
the principles apply though.
Principle is the exact same.
Like it doesn't matter what you do. Like if you run you know, like a mom and pop restaurant or whatever it is that you do, if you're true to who you are and you're authentic, and that is like what people see when they interact, and dude, people can pick it up from a mile away. Like they know if like, this guy's just trying to get a deal done, or this guy's just trying to get this or whatever, you know.
Dude,
people can see it.
It drives me crazy, and those are the places that I stay as far away from as possible. And you know,
People that put that vibe off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When they have that vibe, and they'll adjust for anybody, and just they're not themselves. You mentioned restaurants. One of my favorite restaurants is the Wishbone restaurant. It's like an old school.
I haven't been there in
92nd
years.
and
Oh yeah,
Federal.
I almost forgot it's even there
Their
still.
family are really good friends of mine. We golf together. We travel together. But they don't they are who they are.
Yeah.
And they're not gonna like change their menu to get
Appease
a different type
people.
of. They would never do that to appease people. Like, here's our menu. Here's what we serve. Here's our furniture. Like, if you walked in there, and they've been on like the diners, dives, and like
Oh, they
that type
have.
of place,
Okay. Yeah.
because it is like a hole in the wall. Like, if you drove by it and you weren't from here, you would just keep driving.
Yeah, no doubt. You almost like can't even see it now.
And it's packed.
Oh, that's
all the
crazy.
time. They
I
have
haven't
the
been in there
best fried
forever,
chicken.
man.
But that's a good example. Like, they are who they are.
Yeah.
They're not gonna change. Great food, great family, great atmosphere. Another example, I just sold a property that I have up in Winter Park.
Okay.
I know a ton of realtors here that I could have reached out to and got a referral.
Yeah.
On social media, I've been following Ben Charrington up there. He's a realtor in Winter
Sweet.
Park. He's actually, more people probably know him from the UFC. He's a wrestling coach for a lot of the guys that are like, if you turn on UFC on Saturday, you'll see Ben Charrington coaching these guys in wrestling.
That name sounds familiar now that you say it.
And so, like, I've seen him on social media. He knows a lot of people that I grew up with. So we had a lot of mutual friends and acquaintances. And I just reached out to him. I said, hey, man, I'm thinking about listing a property up there. It's kind of peaked out on appreciation. The cash flow is not where it needs to be for a rental. Would you have any interest in listing it? He listed it last Saturday. I was on the phone with him on the way over here today. We got a full offer, cash offer.
Yeah.
He was able to even get the furniture thrown in, and they're paying more than we offered the house for. So,
nice, dude.
Like, that's an example. Ben is who he is. He's not gonna change.
Yeah.
People know that he's a wrestling coach. He coaches the high school wrestling team up there.
Oh, cool.
But he's a hardworking realtor.
Is that Middle Park?
Middle Park.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he travels a lot for UFC. He's coaching wrestling. But, dude, he had my property under contract a week after I talked to him.
Yeah.
And it was sold. Actually, he had it listed a week after I talked to him, under contract a week after he had it listed. So,
dude, that's really impressive.
He does great work.
You know, especially with, I think like average days on market. Now this is for like metro area and stuff. I think it's somewhere between like 45 to 60 days, something like that, right? Yeah. So the fact that you can get that pulled off up in the mountains, man.
It's still a great market up there, and maybe that's a testament that I sold too soon, but we bought at such a good time.
But if you got like what you wanted, dude, then you're solid.
And I crunched the numbers. I'm a math guy. We've gotten a ton of appreciation in that property.
Sweet.
We mainly bought it as a short-term rental, and that area is saturated with the size of our houses. Now, there's still a ton of good short-term rentals up there, just not the size that we had.
Gotcha. So you've noticed a change with just the drop off on that and
big
stuff.
Time.
That's crazy, man.
Time.
Yeah.
It's there. It's open. It's available all the time. So that's why I started looking into it.
Pretty smart, dude.
And we're going to use that money.
Smart.
We're going to get a couple of up in Leadville. So we'll get that money redeployed. But
yeah,
that was. I didn't mean to get off topic there, but like Ben and the Wishbone, those are two examples recently that come to my mind of they're not going to change who they are. They're good at what they do. And people are either going to love them or they're not. And,
yeah.
I mean.
Well, dude, even I think it's like a testament too to, the fact that so many real estate professionals, but like that guy in that area knows what's going on. He's got his like finger on the pulse of like Grand County. And I mean, I think that's another good example too of like why you would work with somebody and why you may not work with somebody too, That
had a lot to do with why I reached out to him. I wanted somebody local. I know a ton of realtors.
Yeah.
Most of my clients are in real estate in somewhere or another. Either realtors, lenders, insurance guys, appraisers, cost segregation companies, developers. So I know a ton of realtors.
That guy was like special and unique to what you needed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He and he was, he's doing stuff on social media too. And I felt like even before I reached out to him, I felt like I knew him just from like the posts and being friends with him on social media.
Yeah. Dude, you and I were talking about that before we, jumped into this and just some of the, like the rationale behind why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's all about like just hacking time. Like anything I can do to like hack time, because everybody only has like 24 hours in a day, right?
Yep.
And so and you're married, you've got children, I'm in the same boat. It's like you have all these responsibilities, all these different things that you need to do. Plus you got to do your job. Plus you got to be just always on the grind, talking with people. Yep. I love the video aspect of things and just the use of social media, because it accomplishes what Ben did for you, right? It's like, dude, like you're already super familiar with this guy, you know him, but you've gotten to know him like through what he's doing, how he's putting himself out there and stuff.
100%. I doubt he even, I know he didn't know of me prior to me reaching out to him. He would have, like if our mutual friends would have introduced us, he would have said, oh yeah, I know you from them. But his work and his time spent on social media, who knows how many deals he's going to get out of it.
Yeah.
But even if he gets no more deals ever out of it,
he got yours.
One good one.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
In my opinion.
I go back and forth, man. Like I struggle with it. I try to look at things from like a producer's mindset instead of like a consuming mindset. Yeah. I think it's like so easy to just get pulled into whatever, in social media. It's like there's so much negativity, or like maybe just go down like rabbit holes with stuff, and it's like you can waste a lot of time. But if you can find a way to like leverage it to where it's actually being useful for you, I think that it could be a really good tool. And I think that you got a really good example.
I would agree with that 100%. I think I waste time on there more than I should, but I also get a lot of value. It's the same thing with ChatGPT or all these other things. You could end up in these weird dark holes.
Sure.
Like once you start looking into stuff and doing research and things like that, and then you're like, how the heck did I get here?
Yeah.
But on the flip side, if you're like really using it for positive and for good, there's a lot of good that comes out of it, in my opinion.
Yeah, no doubt. Obviously, dude, I don't even like to admit it anymore. I'm a Nebraska fan. I was listening to Matt Rule the other day. He was talking about how what he does is like he'll sit there and like he's not monitoring guys' phones and stuff, but he's like, you got to check your For You page. Like whatever's like feeding your brain, like that's who you're becoming, right? So like if you want to be, and Alex Hormozy talks a lot about this, he's like, if you want to change some things about you, just like your thinking, and you want to start going in a different direction, start following those accounts on those people that are already doing that thing, right? And it's like it kind of like it's almost like reprogramming your brain.
100%. It's crazy how good the algorithms are now too.
It's crazy, yeah.
Even if you don't like start clicking on stuff, if you slow down, if you're looking at stuff, that's what you're spending your time on.
Yeah.
And then it'll continue to feed it to you. And
yeah, Gary Vee talks a lot about how, I've heard it's not social media, it's business media. Gary Vee refers to as interest media. Yeah. And so what we're being shown is exactly what you just said. It's what we're camping out on and hanging out on and stuff. And so whatever, and what used to work with just how you'd be rewarded with views and all this other stuff, it's totally different now, right? So like you could have somebody that like, plays guitar, and maybe they're just starting out, but like they get on and they're showing you like their growth or their progressions through their experience with this and stuff. And you start watching that. It's like that person could like pop off like super, super fast just because it's all interest driven at this point, Well,
and I think there's probably some parallels. Like if social media didn't exist and I had to guess what your For You would be, I would guess sports, fitness, self-development.
Yeah.
Like those are the things that I see you spending a lot of your time talking about, thinking about, doing.
Yeah.
And it's the same with social media or interest media. If you're talking about it, thinking about it, slowing down and camping out there, that's what's going to keep popping up.
Yeah, no doubt. I love that. You got to be careful that you're like watching the right things. Cause some people, man, like, dude, some people go like fall off a cliff. They're like, get like super wrapped up into something that's just not going to help them. It's not beneficial.
Well, I have some friends, and I'm not going to get political today, but they'll like be sending me these things, and I know that's all they're looking at all day long when they're sending.
Just feeding their brain, bro.
To me, and I'm like, dude, you probably wasted your whole day looking into like these conspiracy theory stuff, stuff that's not going to bring you any value.
It's not going to help your situation.
Exactly. Yeah. It might be right, or who knows if it's right or wrong, but it's not going to help your situation.
Yeah.
In life.
Yeah. That's why I've kind of like pulled back on Nebraska, bro. It's like, dude, these guys don't even know I exist, man. I don't need to get wrapped up in all that, man. But no, dude, it's I think we're dude, it's I don't know. It's like a love-hate it's like an abusive relationship, man. Like I keep telling myself it's gonna be better, it's gonna be different this time, and it's the same stuff.
But would you be happier or more depressed if they were like undefeated and ranked 1 in the country than you are when they're struggling?
I don't know. I don't know if like my objective point of view or how I look at it is maturity, or if it's we've been so bad for so long, I'm just apathetic towards it. Like I don't know which one it is.
Or maybe a little bit of both.
It may be a little bit of both, man. But
I know you've matured, and they have been bad for a long time. So it's probably a little bit of both.
It might be a little bit of both, dude. What's your boy Philip think these days, man? Those of you who don't know, Troy's got a good friend, played for Nebraska back in the day. But what's his take on
Phil
everything?
Bland, he was the only freshman to ever start on the defense for Tom Osborne.
So
and
sick,
we
man.
play a lot of golf together. I need to connect with him. I haven't seen him in a while. He's doing really good though. He's in charge of business development at Northwestern Mutual.
Oh, sweet.
One of the offices here in Boulder, but just a great guy. He's an athlete. He does things that I wish I could do in terms of like, he did a 3-year. I couldn't do it because I have a family and kids and all this stuff. But he like unplugged for 3 years and went on a hiking trip through
that's sick,
South
man.
America.
Yeah.
He's always in great shape. He got me into doing the cold plunge. You see me doing it at
Yeah.
Lifetime Fitness,
Yeah.
but he does it like in the river over in Boulder.
Oh, geez, man. Yeah.
So just things like that. He's just a stud all the way around. But I mean, he's always going to love Nebraska.
Yeah.
Not to get way off topic, but his dad played football at CU, and then he didn't get recruited at all, and he went to high school over at Fairview.
I remember that. Yeah.
So they just rubbed him the wrong way, man.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was Gary Barnett or who was coaching at that time. But
Probably Barnett.
yeah, so he ended up going to Nebraska, and he played on all those teams. Like he was playing against like Willis McGahee and Warren Sapp, and
He was a stud, man. Number 21, right?
Yeah.
Was he number 21?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he played against. So he messed up his knee, but he played against a ton of NFL players.
Oh, yeah.
He played. They played Miami.
Yep.
In
The Natty.
Yep.
Yeah. I have a few friends that were on that team, man. I was out there 98 to 2000, so I was out there for 2 years. And my buddy Joe Crispin is actually an insurance agent up in Boulder.
Okay.
He was Crouch's backup that year that they played for the national title. And
What's his name?
Joe Crispin.
Okay.
He's at State Farm. So
I'm sure Phil knows him all that.
great. I guarantee you Phil knows him, man. But great reputation. Joe's one of the best people I've ever met, man. So just a solid.
Yeah, that's a
guy.
good example of like when I leave here, I'm gonna ask Phil. Joe. He's gonna say, yeah, let's grab a beer, and then there's one more person that you meet, and
dude,
and connect.
I was talking with a friend the other day at the gym, and we were talking about how like you're one conversation away from like being in a totally different place, like in a good spot, like so many people I think live life and they're just like so focused on like what's happening like right now, right in front of them, and they're not where they want to be. They're struggling or they're not hitting their goals or whatever the situation is, and it's defeating, it's disheartening. And a lot of people just kind of have a hard time seeing past like that, what's directly right in front of you, right?
Yep.
But if you just keep talking with people, you keep having conversations, putting yourself out there, you're literally like one conversation away from like everything changing.
Yeah.
Like you hear so many stories, you hear countless stories about successful business people where they met somebody and it opened up this door and it just like changed everything. Yeah. I made this post about Ray Kroc the other day, the guy that
McDonald's?
the McDonald's guy, right? And dude, he was like 57 and divorced twice, like struggling, bankrupt, just all this stuff. And had this idea, like met the McDonald's brothers. And he was like, dude, what if we did this? And they were like, well, we could try it. And it kind of started working. And then he ended up like, I think he bought him out for like $2.9 million or something like that. And just killed it after that, man. I mean, there's so many stories
like that where, except for like the startup founders, like all these other successful businesses or ventures, or just even being successful for somebody else and working for them, it starts with a conversation or
Yeah.
a decision to like attend an event. Or
I think you got to be looking for it too. You know,
Yeah.
like I don't think anything is accidental. I think everything is intentional and purposeful. Now, I'm not saying that like because you're intentional and you're on purpose and by design that you're going to get what you want initially. But I think that you've always got to be in this mode of like, okay, I know that this is what I'm chasing and this is just what I need to like continue to focus on.
I agree with that too, man. I think, especially when you're thinking about it all the time, like your brain is going to figure out a way to help you get that, and probably not overnight.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of like writing goals down, and when you look at them all day, every day, even when you're sleeping, you're thinking about those goals, and like it might just take one little small thing to click in your mind and be like, this is a faster way to get to that goal if you're looking at it and thinking about it all the time. That's why I write them down.
Yeah.
Because it forces me to think about them more.
Yeah.
I see them all the time.
I love that, man. Definitely keeps you focused, keeps you driven. I just, you know, this world's not set up to allow you to just kind of like fall into success. Like, I don't think that, maybe some people get lucky every now and then, but I think that all the good people, and it could be anything. It could be, again, restaurant owners. It could be athletes. Everybody is like very, very specific and intentional with what they're doing.
I think the luck comes into play, but it's not going to be the difference between somebody that's like super successful and somebody that's at the bottom. Like somebody that's already working towards it, if they get some luck along the way, they're gonna catapult themselves or skip a few steps. Like I have a lot of very successful friends that started like below the bottom, like on drugs, homeless, and they just they picked themselves up and started working and had a goal, and they got lucky along the way, but now and they've skipped some steps because it's all they focus on, and they probably still have a little bit of
some residual
that and a personality that I would say is like an addictive personality.
Sure.
Like whether it's fitness or going to church,
but using it the right way, though.
Using it the right way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, addictive in a good way.
Yeah.
They have an addictive personality, but when they have like a positive goal to work towards, just like when they were addicted to drugs or whatever else, they still have the same outlook. They'll do whatever they can to get to it. Just like drug addicts, they'll do whatever they can to get to drugs. Like they're successful at finding drugs, even when they don't have money, even when they don't have.
Sure.
And same thing with when they have a positive goal.
Yeah.
When they get like God back in their life or whatever, they have something to shoot for, and they're addictive in that sense.
I think that's a great point. When I was going to school at UNL, I was taking an accounting course, and I remember like there was like this case study on like this kid that started this carpet cleaning business, right? And it was like a big scheme. Like, I don't know, it was like level of like a Ponzi scheme and stuff, but it was like this massive scheme, like where, dude, he skirted people for like millions of dollars. Like it was so much money. But it was almost like the did you ever see Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah.
Right? It's like, dude, if and eventually US Bank ended up like teaming up with that guy after he got straight and got his life together and stuff, and like he did a lot of good with like forgery and stuff for US Bank and some of the other banking institutions and stuff. But I remember like my professor telling me, oh dude, one of my favorite movies of all time, man. Like I love that movie. But I remember my professor like saying like, dude, if he just would have like used this, like what he did to like build this business in the wrong way, if he just would have like done it the right way, he would have been in the same exact spot and not in jail, and like it would have been sustainable, so.
But you don't know when you're going through it. And a lot of times it feels like a shortcut, or it feels like you're doing the right thing, and you end up in a big mess and a hole that you can't dig out from.
It's something that like I remind myself. I just, you hear stories and like you see people like running business certain ways and stuff, and it's like, you know what, like I'm just going to do this the right way. I'm going to be transparent and be honest with people, and I'm just going to keep doing that thing, and I know that it's eventually going to pay off, dude. Like there's this great Lee Trevino story. I think it was like his very first majors that he ever won. I can't remember what one it was, but obviously he's very, very young. And he was struggling like the first couple of days and ended up like winning it, right? And he's being interviewed afterwards and they're like, hey, what changed? Like, cause you were like, dog water, like the first, couple of days of this thing and stuff. And he said, like, I just made like this switch, like in my brain that like, I already had the money. Like I didn't need the money, And so I think that if like you can see, it sounds weird, but if you can like see like into the future, and not like this, like prophetic, like I don't know what's going to happen on the drive home today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But like, but it almost goes back to like what you were talking about with the goals and just writing those down. It's like that almost ends up becoming the thing. Yeah. And it's like, okay, cool. I'm going to go about my day tomorrow. And if like this thing that comes up doesn't line up with that, I'm just going to just push that off to the side and keep going this way. Yeah. It's like you can already see it happening and stuff, man. It's crazy.
Well, and Lee Trevino is one of my favorite human beings. I've got to meet him a couple of times.
Oh, sweet, dude. That's awesome.
When we're done here, I got a good picture with him.
Yeah.
I'll show it to you. But I was watching a podcast or something. Same thing with Jack Nicklaus. He was given a speech to the Ohio State men's golf team.
Okay.
And he said, I never missed a putt on 18 under 5 feet in my whole career. And he had, and somebody called him out on it, and they're like, he missed that one year, but in his brain and in his mind, he's forgotten about all those putts that he missed that were under 5 feet on the last hole of a tournament. He blocked it out completely. So even when he's doing speeches, he's like, I never missed a putt under 5 feet.
Dude, I
like
love
he's not
that,
doing
man.
it to like pull the wool over somebody's eyes. He's blocked it out of his mind.
He just knows. He just knows. Dude, like that's been like a massive thing for me with and I've shared with you, dude, like you're my accountant, man. Like you've seen my struggles. It's like, bro, like I've gone from like doing really well to like my family like being in a really tough spot, Yeah. But something that like changed in my brain, I would say like the beginning part of 2024 was I know exactly who I am, bro. Like I'm not trying to get like Moana on here or anything, but it's like, dude, like I know that I am I was this before COVID. I know what it looks like. I know what it feels like. I know what it tastes like all this. I help 40 to 50 families every single year buy and sell real estate. Like I help people with that process, 40 to 50 families every single year. I got away from it. You and I were talking about how when I first got into the broker side, which is almost 3 years ago, this coming March, the first year that I was on the broker side, it was very, very challenging because interest rates went from, in 2022, they went from 3.5% to like 7.5% in 9 months, which, rates have been higher, but like they hadn't gone up that much that fast before, right? And so it like completely just like shocked the entire mortgage industry. And, I've learned to kind of be kind to myself over the last couple of years, just because if you look at like the number of loan officers, and I've shared this on social media before, beginning part of 2022, I want to say it was like 398,000 loan officers in the United States. And they're projecting at the beginning of 2026, that number is going to be all the way down to like 65,000.
I believe it, man. I've seen it in my client base and other, people. So I'm not surprised at that number.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a shocking number, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so I'm saying all this to not let myself off the hook, but be kind to myself that what I went through the last 3 years was incredibly difficult. Like mentally, just feeling like a loser, just all this stuff, right? Something happened though at the beginning of 2024 where I was just like, I was sharing how when I got to the broker side, it's different than when you're working in retail or at a bank. You're not going into an office where you have all these coworkers, you get like bounce things off of people. It's like, I'm having a real crappy day. What do you think about this? Somebody can like help you, like get you into back to like a better mind space and everything.
Not in the broker world.
I didn't have it, man. I didn't have it.
You're out on an island.
And so it was like a double negative that didn't equal a positive for me, right? It's like interest rates shot up so high, and I was by myself. It was like, two wrongs like don't equal a right, which is absolutely right in that scenario.
Yeah.
But at the beginning of 2024, I was like, I don't care anymore. Like I don't care what the results look like. I know exactly who I am. I know what I'm chasing after, and I'm just going to go start doing that. And last year, better than the 2 years before. This year is going to be the best year I've had since 2021, man. So
I love hearing that, man. And I'm not surprised. That's not surprising to me either, because I know that you're being active. Dude, you went through the worst downturn in the mortgage industry. I mean, who knows if there'll ever be a 3-year period like that before.
I thought it was going to be 6 months, dude. Maybe a year at the most, you know?
Think about, well, most people that were in your shoes either got out of the industry, went in, found a side hustle, like driving for Uber or whatever, or they're not even in lending or mortgages anymore.
Yeah.
So
I didn't do that, man.
One of the few. I know. You're one of the few that made it through, which is, I think, as long as you keep the long-term view in mind, like, this is probably going to be a good thing for you, because it's weeding out a lot of the people that didn't belong in the industry in the first place.
Sure. Anybody can sell a 2.5% interest rate, man.
Oh, man. I mean, I remember hearing, like, friends and family telling me that they were quitting good jobs to go into lending when that was the shiny thing to be chasing.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be doing that now, but back then, that's exactly where everybody was gravitating towards.
Yeah.
And then after they quit their good, high-paying jobs to do what they thought was going to be making more money, then that lasted for like 2 months, and then the bottom fell out.
Yeah.
Now they don't have a job, and lending has dried up.
Yeah.
So you're going to come out ahead. There's no doubt. Like the efforts that you're putting in. I would compare it to, like, when you're chopping down a huge tree, like the first 500, especially if it's a huge tree, the first 500 swings, you're not even going to see anything.
Yeah.
When you start getting into the thousands, that's when the tree is going to start to bend. And that's what you've gone through, like, the last 3 years, is like every single day taking a swing at it, and you're not missing any days.
Yeah.
And you're continuing to swing the axe. And at some point in time, the tree's going to fall down, but that's what I would compare it to. I mean, you got to keep swinging.
Yeah.
And you're not going to see results.
Yeah.
Right away.
Yeah, and that was a thing that I had to, like, kind of like disassociate myself with, is I don't care about the results. Like, I don't care about the closings. Like, I know, like, what I need to do to go meet more people. Dude, my conversion ratios, whether I've helped 125 families in a year or 12 families in a year, which that was my highest and that was my lowest. Yeah. My conversion ratios are spot on identical, man. Like, if I'm introduced to 10 people, 5 of them will do a loan application. They'll go through the full pre-approval process, right? So half of them will do a loan application. Yep. Of those half, 36% will convert into a closed transaction. They'll buy a house, they'll refinance, something like that, which ends up equating to like 1.8 people. So, like, I'll round it up to 2, right? Yeah. So, and dude, like, the encouraging thing about that is that's just math then, right? So, okay, if that is accurate on helping and having like my best year or my worst year, all that I need to do is just go meet more people. I just need to just keep being myself, just keep introducing myself to people, being nice, putting myself out there, and those things will just kind of happen, dude. Yeah. So.
Well, you said it's a math equation. Another, like, one of my favorite people to study was Ross Perot, and he worked for IBM when he first started.
Yeah.
They'd give him his quota, and he'd meet it like by the 3rd week of January. Same reason. He'd be like, if I got to meet, if I got to get in front of 2 people a month for the whole year, why don't I just get in front of 4 people a day for the first 3 weeks? And I mean, obviously he was disciplined and motivated and smart.
Yes.
And he ended up becoming a billionaire and starting his own, competing against IBM.
But that was the framework for it.
That was the framework. Like, he kept the same mindset. Yeah. And I mean, I think he used those words. He said it was just a math equation or a formula that if this is how many people I got to get in front of to hit this number by December, why can't I just front load that?
Yeah.
I can wake up earlier. I can tell my wife and kids and family that, I'm in grind mode right now.
Yeah.
And he'd hit his quota, and then, then he had the rest of the year to do whatever.
Just do what he wants.
Build his business.
I love that, dude. There's, do you know who Alex Hormozi is?
Yeah. Oh, just from social media. Yeah.
So one thing that he talks about, you were talking about, like, going through, like, tough things and, like, experiencing, like, hard times and stuff, right? And one thing that Alex often talks about is, like, obtaining this armor as you go through these things, right? So when you're starting out, you have, like, this dragon that you come across, and it's like you find a way to, like, defeat this dragon with, like, a stick and, like, a rock, right? But then like you go on and then the dragon becomes larger the next time, right? It's like, okay, cool. Well, you got like a baseline now of like what it takes to be able to beat a dragon. This one's just a little bit bigger. So what are you going to do? How are you going to like improvise, or what are you going to change to be able to have success here and stuff? Yeah. And I just, you know, kind of going back to what you brought up about just the competition and people that have gotten out. I feel like I've gotten like a lot better armor going through this stuff. And I'm not like this prideful person, but like I take pride in like who I am, right?
That's not being prideful. I mean, I think that's being confident and knowing like that you can. If I needed a mortgage, and if I ever do, you're gonna be the first person I call.
Appreciate it, man.
You want people to know that you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's not being prideful. That's just like, I'm good at what I do.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm gonna be the best person for you.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
I'm proud of myself for like making it through this stuff, man.
Yeah.
You know?
It's awesome, dude. I love it.
Dude, because it's not been easy, and like I'm still not like, I hate getting like emotional and stuff, man. I'm still not like out of the woods, but
there's light at the end of the tunnel,
dude. Like I like one of my favorite verses in the Bible is Romans 8:28, and it says, all things work for the good for those that love the Lord and are called according to His purposes. So all things work for the good for those that love the Lord. So it's like, I love the Lord. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. Like there's so much that I wish I could like change, even like day to day.
Yeah.
But
I don't think you'd be human if you didn't make mistakes and find something that you could improve upon.
Yeah.
That's part of being human, man.
Yeah. But dude, it's like, I've got so much like confidence and rest in that all things work for the good. Yeah. Even the hard stuff, man. It's not just the easy stuff. Like, I think that like, it's easy to like be living your best life like when everything's going good. Yeah. You know, like, dude, like you're not struggling, finances are good, marriage is good, like everything's just hitting on all cylinders. But like when things get tough, if you can like stay the same, dude, it's like I remember, do you remember Jeff Francis, pitcher for the Rockies back when they were playing like in the World Series and all that stuff? Yeah. I remember was it George Frazier, the commentator with Drew Goodman? I want to say George Harrison, but he was the guitar.
So we were watching we were catching the score.
Oh yeah.
But obviously we got to watch like all the playoff games.
Eric Burns and all those guys. Yeah. Those Arizona teams are good too. But dude, I remember George talking about like how the unique thing that that Jeff Francis brought was he always stayed in the middle. You know, like when things were really good, he didn't get emotional and was like, oh dude, this is great. Like we're just killing all this stuff. When things were bad, you don't like drop down. And that's like something I'm like trying to get better at in life, is like just staying in the middle. Yeah. Like not getting like.
Well, another pitcher that was like that was one of the best ever, Greg Maddux. He, I mean, his fastball wasn't anywhere near as close to as fast as anybody else's.
Wow.
He could locate pitches, but he never got too high or too low. Like if he was going through a slump, which he very rarely did. Yeah. Like his demeanor, you wouldn't know if he just threw a shutout or if he, was struggling.
It's probably why like he was successful as he was, man. Yeah. Like just, that's a huge attribute to have, to be able to just be steady,
Exact same example a lot when people say, you don't get too excited when whether it's in golf or business or whatever, when you're doing good. Yeah. And you don't seem like you get down, like these things don't impact you like they would impact somebody else. And I try to operate in that middle zone too. Yeah. Where, I mean, it's good to show emotion and get excited and get, amped up, but
you don't get over your skis though.
Exactly. You don't want to get over your skis.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. And I think that I think the temptation is to do that. It's like, dude, I remember post-COVID, I was like, dude, I'm always good for 4 families a month. I will always have 4 families that I can help every single month. Like I was that confident that 8 years, 9 years build up to that. And I was like, dude, like I built a really good business. Well, the game changed, right?
Big time.
And so like, so maybe in that game I was good for 4 families a month, but now it's like, bro, like you're not starting over from scratch because you already have like all this experience. Basically. Yeah. But I hear Gary Vaynerchuk talk about this often. when you're starting over, you're not really starting over because you already have like all this experience that has gotten you to where you are right now.
Yeah.
So it's like you just kind of like got to like figure out what game is being played now and like how people are winning at that. And so I would say like that first year that I was on the broker side, that was like that discovery period for me, like just trying to like figure that out.
And you wouldn't go back now. I mean, you're so far along and all that experience you've gained. I mean, even as hard as it was, you wouldn't go back.
No, dude, I wouldn't, man. And I even have, I've got several friends that are in lending still and stuff, and a handful of them like started reaching out. They're like, hey, you should come work over here. You should come do this. And it's like, I actually really like what I'm doing here on the broker side. And dude, Edge has been great for me. Like I've got a ton of support here with just the leadership. And I don't know, like I feel like this is, I don't think it's necessarily riskier, but I just like running my own thing, man. And it's been tough, like getting
you're
to
betting
this.
on yourself. And when you're doing this, there's no safety net, but the rewards can be higher.
Dude, it's like you walking in, you're like, dude, does Edge pay for this? I'm like, bro, Edge don't pay for nothing.
I know.
It's
That was
like
my first question.
all this stuff in here, man, like the office, it's like this is Rob Murray funded, man. So, but it's like it's all part of that vision though, dude. It's
well, you're betting on yourself.
Yeah.
Same with any entrepreneur, anybody that goes out on their own. I went out on my own in 2010. It's easier to tell somebody to go out on their own after you do it than it is when you're in that situation when you're comfortable. You have a high-paying W-2 job.
Yeah.
There's a big safety net.
That's tough.
I have a bunch of friends in the Comcast division that just got shut down, the business Comcast division, and they thought they had a safety net, and then this whole division evaporated.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm sure Comcast will find them
something,
a spot or something,
but just that security, dude.
The security, and like back to your point, you were betting on yourself when you went out on your own and went into the broker world.
Dude, I think it's I think that security is just like this fictitious thing that kind of comes and goes.
Yeah.
I think that you were dude, like Alex Hermosi. I'm a big Alex Hermosi fan. He's always talking about acquiring skills. Like, dude, like all the camera stuff I was showing you and like this, it all looks like amateur hour right now, but it's all experimentation. Like I'm just trying things.
This doesn't
I'm
look
experimenting,
amateur hour to me, man. This looks like a professional
you're the man, dude.
studio.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, this looks legit.
But dude, like he's always talking about how if you can acquire new skills, you will always be able to trade skills for money.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, that applies to everything. Becoming a better mortgage professional, becoming good at video, becoming good at, taxes, like whatever the situation is, man. Like if you can acquire new skills that differentiate you and set you apart from other people, you're always going to have opportunities that present themselves.
I would say that, and being able to communicate with people, whether it's, social media, emails, texts, calls, like people that I see that are super successful, they're always adding tools to their tool belt. They're just gaining skills, but they're really good communicators too. Like people understand what they're asking for, what they're trying to say, what they're trying to get across. And I think those two things together are almost unstoppable.
Just a great recipe.
Yeah.
I love that, man, because that's like encouraging. That's something that, okay, cool. Maybe you're not as good of a communicator. You can learn how to be a better communicator.
Yeah.
I was reading this thing this morning, and I forget who was talking about it, but they were saying you can almost master anything. Not master it, but like you can become proficient in almost anything if you just devote 20 hours to it.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, cool. Like I need to get better at ChatGPT. How can I use that better with my mortgage business? If I like legit invested 20 hours into ChatGPT, I would be leaps and bounds in front of everybody else that's just kind of like dabbling with it. You
could easily find 20 hours that you're wasting on stuff that's not adding any value to your life, dude.
100%, man. I mean, dude, just like look at, I'll go home here. It's almost 5. We'll get this wrapped up. I'll go home here, have some dinner, maybe go for like a walk, maybe a little jog or something, and then I'll have at least 2 hours where I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Play guitar, doom scroll on my phone, like whatever. Yeah. But if you're like using that in a way where it's gonna like propel you forward in something, I think that is like the differentiator with people is like how they're using their time.
I couldn't agree more with that. And like even at the 2 hours, if you used one of them towards the 20 that you're trying to get better at, and the other
20 days, bro.
Yeah, 20 days.
Dude, that's nothing.
No brainer.
I can't believe that we're almost to Thanksgiving this year. This year's just flown
Hard
by,
to believe, man.
It's crazy. Cool, Troy. Well, any parting shots, anything? Words of wisdom, man. I appreciate you hanging out with me, dude.
I don't have any words of wisdom. I just feel like, you know, I love seeing what you're doing with social media, and I know you got discouraged for a while there just in this industry, and love seeing that you've come out on the other side. And I think if you keep, you know, chopping away at the tree and one swing at a time,
Yeah.
things are going to turn out. And I love that I know that you're encouraging other people, and I love seeing that too. So.
Cool, man.
I'm glad to know you and be one of your buddies.
Me too, brother. So, dang, man, I don't get all emotional yet, dude, but appreciate you more than you know, man. And yeah, just thankful that our paths crossed and excited for the future, dude. So,
Thanks for having me on.
appreciate you, man.
You got it.
All right.
Anytime.
Take care.
See you, buddy.